In this live martial arts class, you're gonna learn how to do the top 5 nunchuck spins for beginners. Start with the chuck in the middle of your hand, in the middle of the chuck, the string or the chain, in this case, coming out of the thumb side. Your palm is facing up. You're gonna do a warm-up orbital spin. This is number 1. The first thing you have to know, first spin is an orbital spin. If you look at the side, it's just making an orbit around your wrist or around your hand, around my head. My palm is up. You're gonna turn your palm over and do that same orbital with your palm facing down. It's moving in the same direction. You go palm up to the outside, palm down to the inside, and then you put these together for number 2, which is your figure 8 spin. So you've got to go from side to side. Hello, it's good to see you. I see Taylor, I can't see the first name. Hello everybody, it's good to see you here as we do this basic nunchuck warm up. We're going side to side, put it into the other hand with your palm up. You just make a small circle here. You start to go a little faster, a little faster. That's your first motion. You're just going around and around. Hello, it's good to see you. A lot of new people here today. Thank you for being here in this live stream. You're gonna turn your palm over. Good afternoon. Turn your palm up. Turn your palm over. Put those together. You have your figure 8 spin. That's the second spin. I always have you do the same training on your right hand as you do on your left hand. You could even use one in each hand and do them at the same time on these basic warm-up spins. After you've done that, I want you to put it in your first hand and you want to reverse that spin. So this is number 1. This is the first spin you have to know as a beginner, but it's in reverse. You're just pulling it back towards you. Turn your palm over. Same thing. It's still going in the same direction. This is what it looks like from the side. That's a reverse orbital spin. Palm up, palm down. If you do it this way, palm up and down, and then you go into the second spin you should know at the top 5 nunchuck spins, then you'll have an easy figure 8. Hello, G. Carlton, it's good to see you. Just going from side to side. Put it into your other hand, palm up, orbital to the outside. Turn your hand, palm down. This pulling toward you motion is the opposite from where we started, where you were pushing away. So think of pulling in or pushing away. Pulling in is reverse, pushing out is forward. Pushing out is a strike, pulling in is a deflecting strike or a block. Put those together, you have your figure 8. Now the next spin that I want you to see is going to be the same orbital spin, but you're going to go over your head first. And this is super simple if you keep your arm high, your elbow straight over your head. From here, you're going to do a spin to the outside and reverse, and then reverse it. Spin to the inside, forward. This is just an overhead helicopter spin. You put it in the other hand. And I know these are super simple. This is the same as this, which is the same that you started with. You're just putting your hand over your head. Sometimes it seems like something it's not. It seems more complicated than it really is. And that's what you have to know about the nunchucks. It's a lot of basic moves and you weave them together to get some higher level skill, some higher level technique. Now the next one, I want you to be able to do a little bit more advanced technique in the top 5. This is number 3. You're gonna do a wrist roll to a wrist roll. And the wrist roll, you take it, your hand, it's not gonna be in the middle, it's gonna be toward the chain. You're gonna pull your wrist up, it goes to the back of your hand opens, you're gonna turn it out and flip it out, and then bring it back. So you're gonna wrist roll here. Whoa, lost it. When you lose it, pick it up. Welcome. Aaron's a new member. Welcome, Aaron. Thank you for joining our virtual dojo. The wrist roll, the outside. You can do the wrist roll in front of your body. You can do the wrist roll to the side of your body so that you're coming more up and down. You can do it in all these different planes of motion. You can do this over your head. Wrist roll to a wrist roll. Put it in the other hand. And again, when you drop it, pick it up. I prefer that when I teach, I drop it a lot, which is good because I don't plan on dropping it. I'm not dropping it on purpose, but I drop it for the same reason that you're gonna drop it. Either you're gonna go faster and get out of your comfort zone, or you're gonna get distracted. I get distracted. Got a guy here who is filling up the fire extinguisher certification, doing that right now. So I'm looking at him, corner of my eye. I thought he needed my attention. When you do that, you drop it. The only problem of dropping it is when you don't pick it up, because your ego gets so big, you think you shouldn't be dropping it so much. But you're gonna drop it a lot, so drop it a lot as you do your wrist rolls. Now the next one that I want you to do, you're gonna start with this up and down striking motion. This is a basic horizontal or a vertical strike coming down. If you think about the strike, it's very effective for self-defense. You hit him on the top of his head. Maybe he's reaching out to grab you, smash, or he's trying to punch. He's got a weapon in his hand. You're just hitting. When you come up, your palm faces up. Think about hitting him under his chin, or he's grabbing, deflecting. Maybe he's trying to hit you with a weapon, so you're deflecting. So you're going down and up. Down, your hand turns, bring it up, down and up. And then go into a horizontal strike from side to side. And then go into a diagonal strike from shoulder to hip. So you have three basic angles of attack on these self-defense strikes. One is going down and up, two is going side to side, three is going shoulder to hip. When you put those together, you have this fourth spin. It's not really a spin so much as it is a combination of strikes, but we include this in the curriculum of spinning. This is the triangle, the Bruce Lee triangle, a right triangle, coming from side to side. Everybody wants to know how to do that one. Super simple if you break it down into this strike first. Horizontal strike, saying hello, it's good to see you. Appreciate everybody being here today. And then a diagonal strike. Then you put it together, coming from one side to the other side, over and back. And your hand can be on the end. This is the way you would use it if you were fighting with it, or it can be more in the middle. You use that more for tricks. You could be closer to the tip. You use that more for speed, for spins, and you're just going, doing it all the same way. Living my best life in Colorado says, so glad you found us, the channel, found us live. Thank you for being here live. Appreciate that. Hello, Aaron. Never used nunchucks, just Eskrima. The fun thing about these, Aaron, is that if you look at it and you hold it still, you compare that to a nunchuck, or a collie stick, a Eskrima stick. It's the same length as that Eskrima stick. Eskrima stick usually goes from your fingertip to your armpit. And when it's in motion, it's doing, if you were to take your Eskrima stick, you can do just about all of these motions. You can do a figure eight with your Eskrima stick. You can do all those basic strikes, those basic angles of Eskrima or Kali or Arnis. So this is just an articulated Eskrima stick. Just pull it out like that and you've got your Eskrima. You've got your baton. Now the next one, number 5, is this arm-to-arm spin where you want to keep it in motion, going for fluidity. And the way that you do that is you bring it up here first. Your palm is facing the sky. Your thumb is lower than your pinky. And your arm, your upper arm, is perpendicular to the floor. It's like a tree growing up. Your other hand comes to the front of your body, in front. You're gonna wanna do this, don't do that. Almost everybody tries to put it behind their back. Yeah, Matthew says his favorite weapon. And you go in front, and then you whip it over to the other side. Hello, Justin. Justin, welcome back. Justin is a virtual member, virtual dojo. Justin's a neighbor. Going from one side to the other side. Yeah, great to be back, Justin says. Justin, thank you. Appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys training with me in the virtual dojo. Been doing a lot of nunchucks this week. You just bring it here. Now the key to this, almost everybody feels like they're gonna hit themselves in the back, in the head, when you start coming behind the back, whether it's the forward spin or the reverse spin, hand-to-hand spin. And the only time you do is when you point your stick at your head or at your back, then you're gonna whack yourself. So don't do that. Don't point it at your head, you'll be fine. You wanna point it straight to the ground and keep your hand away from your head. When you start to do this one, especially when people go for that forward one, just hit myself in the head. I don't know if you heard it. And I'm gonna do that again. There we go. That was a little bit harder than I thought, but it always stings, right? But it's not gonna kill you. There's no blood coming out, just a little pop. You might have a little bruise later, but get over that and don't go for foam. I know some of you have foam, and that's okay if you do, but try to get the wood and metal sooner than later, sooner than you're comfortable. Because when you hit yourself with these, you're only gonna do it a few times. When you get the foam ones, you're gonna whack yourself over and over again because there's really no pain. There's no price to pay. Learn how to pay that price, pay your dues, or take your lumps, literally. I feel it, it's lumping up a little bit. But the point is, if you don't point it at your head, you have to, I almost have to do it on purpose now to hit myself in the head. But you do it a lot at the beginning. So you have this reverse motion, just going from one side to the other side. The key is let go here. That's a strike. That's a deflecting strike, diagonal. Your hand goes in front of your body, whip it to the other side, whip it to the other side, catch it. To reverse that, put this hand here, make it static, bring it down. That's that diagonal strike. When you get it to the end, if you put your wrist of your nunchuck holding hand under your opposite elbow and simply turn your hand up, it goes right into your hand every single time. The only time it's gonna hit your head, and I'm not gonna do it again because that last one hurt. The only time you hit yourself in the head, I lied, I wanted to do it again. So somehow it felt good when it hurt. It was good pain. But you have to point it at your head. If you don't point it at your head, you're not gonna hit your head. So get over that. You can see that I am not dead. There's no blood coming out. And it did hurt. But so what? Things are supposed to hurt sometimes. If you want to learn how to ride a bike as a kid or as an adult, maybe you never learned, you're going to fall down, get back up. You're going to get cut knees, get some scrapes, some bruises. You might even break a bone. But if you don't quit, you'll have the rest of your life a way to get around. It's fun. Be able to ride a bike with your friends. A lot of people don't, they miss it because somehow we've been lied to, especially in the West. We believe everything's supposed to be easy. Everything's supposed to be pain-free. No risk involved. That's bunk. You have to pay to play. And it's a small price. And a lot of times it's not as bad as you think it is. You just think it's gonna be worse. And then you whack yourself and you're like, oh, that's not bad. It's gone a second later. It doesn't hurt. Until you take a shower and then you go, oh, that's right. I hit myself in the head a couple times yesterday. But that's all right. Now, from here, I want to leave you with a bonus. You're going to start with this outer orbital spin. I want you to turn your hand down so you're going to the front and the back of your upper arm. This is all in your wrist. You're doing that all with your wrist, up and down. When it comes inside, tuck your elbow. Bring it up and down again, tuck the elbow. Practice catching it, squeeze it for some tension, and then release the tension as a strike for self-defense. That's a famous Bruce Lee movie. If you ever watched Bruce Lee movies, he does an orbital, he does the upper arm a couple times, he screams really loud, pinches it under his armpit, pops in the head, and then whips it into the other hand, does the same thing. Some orbitals, and it looks really good with two nunchucks. Throw it under your armpit, squeeze, 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 pop to release. Spin, upper arm, catch it, pop. Spin, orbital, upper arm, catch, pop. And then go back to the other side. Weave those together. So start with your orbital motion, go into a figure eight, now you're two. From here, go into a triangle, that's three. Go into an outer orbital, upper arm, catch it, squeeze, pop. Put it in the other hand, that's five. You've got 5 separate moves there. You're building some skills. Figure eight, triangle, upper arm, catch, pop, switch hands, do it on the other side, and all of a sudden you can do a whole bunch of basic skills really well, and it looks like you know what you're doing because you do know what you're doing. You're just getting really good at the basics. If you watch any martial arts movie, any fighting movie, the ones that you love the most, the ones I love the most, they're doing the basics really well. And if you know anything about self-defense or fighting, you get good at the basics, you'll win 99% of all competitions, all fights, all self-defense situations, just because your basics are so strong. So practice the basics. Later you can learn how to do spins. You can throw it, catch it, and go to a figure eight, throw it from behind the head, throw it to the other side. You can do all those basic motions. You can do finger rolls, wrist rolls. Well, that's what I forgot. Number 4 was a wrist roll, or number 3. So you can do your figure eight, throw in a wrist roll, triangle, upper arm, catch it, pop them, other side, triangle, figure eight, switch them up a little bit. See me walking my hand up my chuck so I can do my wrist roll. That's the trick. Wrist roll, drop it, pick it up. The benefit of doing it without shoes on, you can pinch it with your toes and pick it up. But weave those together. So outer orbital, wrist roll, figure eight, wrist roll with a figure eight, right? Triangle, upper arm, catch, pop, put it in the other hand, and do something else over here, make it look cool. You guys have been awesome. Thanks again for those memberships. I will see you. I gotta go pick up the kids, come back. We got a bunch of classes tonight. We'll be doing more classes this weekend. I have a gathering coming up with adult martial artists and self-defense enthusiasts who follow the channel virtually and then who train here locally. We're gonna do that in March. I'm gonna start to get that information out, and I'd like to invite you. Def English says just did the same thing backward. Awesome. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thank you.